Okay, this is practice problem 3.1c, okay, and I went ahead and wrote out the reactants and the products in the first step. So the first thing we want to do is then go through and say, okay, well, how many of each atoms do we have? So we have one aluminum, one hydrogen, one chlorine. Okay, on the other side we have one aluminum, we have two hydrogens, and we have three chlorines. Okay, so if we go ahead and we start, we could start with the hydrogens or we could start with the chlorine. Okay, the aluminums are balanced. So if we go ahead and start with the hydrogen, okay, that means that we need at least two over here, right? Which now gives us two hydrogens. Okay, that means we put a 2 here, which also means we have a 2 here, correct? So then we look at the chlorines, right? Well, the chlorines, we now have 2 over here, right? We have 3 over here, which means that what we could do is just go ahead and swap that, right? So what if we multiply this side by 2, which then gives us a total of 6, and we multiply this side by 3 instead? Well, now that means that we have a total of, or I'm sorry, we multiply that side by 3 from this 3, so 3 times 2, so then we have a 6 Cl, okay, which gives us a total of 6, okay, which then means that this is now a 6, okay, which then means this is now a 6, which means that we have a total of 6 hydrogens on this side. And to do the same over here, we have to multiply by 3 so that we have 6 hydrogens over here. Okay, but you notice that we still have this 2 here, which means that we also have to put a 2 in front of that aluminum chloride. So then we have a 2 in front of that one, which means we have 2 here, which means that now we need to add a 2 in front of this aluminum to have 2 there as well. Okay, and so we end up with a 2 aluminum plus 6 HCl. Okay, it gives us 2 aluminum chloride plus 3 hydrogen gas. Okay, and I know I've gone through that quickly, but what you want to do is make sure that you practice that, and it's really just working different numbers, and especially when you have these hydrogen and chlorines, it's really just trying different numbers and working that out until you get something that's in common so that you end up with the same amount. Now you may have ended up getting like 4 here and 12 here, that's fine, but then when you would go back through and get the smallest whole number that you could at the end, okay, so just keep that in mind. Here we can't divide anything else, right? Because if we divide by 2, then we end up with 3 halves. And if we divide by 3, then we get 2/3. So that's how that works. Just make sure you practice.